Baby, can we dance all night? And just like them stars on that moonshine. And baby, can we stroll down the block and light some firecrackers off? Well, them sparks in the deep blue night dance like fire in your eyes. Then you held my hand so tight. Could almost hear them sirens cry. 'Cause baby, I've got trouble on my mind. And baby, I've got trouble on my mind. You know we could be I've got trouble on my mind.
Yeah, that was awesome, man. Wow.
Welcome, everybody, to Barn Time. We are so stoked to be here. I'm one of your hosts, Zach.
And my name's Kyer, and that was Coby Lee Brooks. The sounds of the very talented man over here.
So good.
We're so honored to have on tonight, as well as Adrian Peter Ross next to him from home. I know that if you guys are from around here, you know this guy, because basically just a public figure and just a really inspirational guy to so many. So we're excited to get into chatting about some new stuff these guys got going on. But maybe we could hear one more tune and then start getting into it.
Sure.
Sweet. What was that song called, by the way?
That one's called Trouble on My Mind.
Trouble on My Mind.
This next song is called Northern Rose.
Northern Rose.
Headed up to Bridgetown, gonna find myself a love, and my heart ain't coming back. I'm gonna lay my head down in your bed of roses, babe, and I'll finally relax. I'm gonna take the northbound train, and I'll fall in love again if I want to. You know it's getting harder on my own. Yeah, you're my sweet northern rose. Might be crazier than a son of gun, might be dumber than a fool, but I know when I see the truth. And all the days she looks, she makes a believer out of me. I know this was meant to be. Gonna take the northbound train, and I'll fall in love again if I want to. You know it's getting harder on my own. Yeah, you're my sweet northern rose. In this city of roses, I find my repose. Yeah, you're my Headed up to Bridgetown, gonna find myself a love, and my heart ain't coming back.
Wow. That was awesome, man.
It's such a beautiful song.
Incredible.
What's that one called?
Northern Rose.
Northern Rose. That's awesome. Just wanted to shift gears a little bit here, Adrian, and kind of just, we have a lot to talk about today. You got a lot of new exciting projects, new developments with the store and the idea and the brand. But before going into it, just wanted to hear a little bit about just the, kind of the story of home and a little intro to get people kind of familiar if they haven't heard already.
Yeah. Well, starting way back before I opened up the store here in Encinitas, 2002, early 2002, my uncle Richard had a bar and restaurant in New York City that he opened in 1969 on 92nd and 2nd Avenue. And it was kind of like a off the beaten path, really destination, small spot, and he called it home. And
Cool.
it was just founded on rock and roll, and it was named after what he was inspired most by, listening to Abbey Road by the Beatles. And they spoke about home a lot on that album, so that's where he got the name Home. So he just wanted to create a bar and restaurant that's served organic food before organic food was kind of like a thing, that we know it is now. And it's just a place that people can escape, listen to music, and hang out. And through that, in 1972, he got introduced to John Lennon by his friend May Pang, who was John Lennon's assistant at that time. And my uncle had Hodgkin's disease at that time. So Lennon was really sympathetic to my uncle and being sick. So he kind of just like gravitated, and they became deep spiritual friends. And they had kind of like a death pact, where my uncle was suspected to or expected to pass first, and John unfortunately passed before my uncle by 4 years. So that kind of my uncle never really recovered from that. And so my uncle passed away in 84. Fast forward 20 years, and we opened up the store in Encinitas because I was driven by rock and roll and clothing. My uncle loved it, clothing, and to honor him, we named it Home, and that's kind of where it started. So
It's amazing, man. And
yeah.
you yourself are a badass singer.
Oh, thanks.
Growing up, I mean, we loved your band so much, me and all my friends, Daredevil Jane.
Yeah.
And I remember when the Lovesick Love EP came out, and we went to see you, and it was a bummer because you guys only got to do 2 songs or something because the openers, there was 4 openers or something.
Right.
I was like, it was the only chance we had to see you because we were so young.
Right.
But yeah, man, I mean, you embody it, and you're just such a genuine, both you guys are just such genuine guys, and just so cool to be able to hear that story, and just I'm so excited for what we're going to talk about.
Yeah. Well, just to
It's
bring
awesome.
that same environment, a hub where people can come and not only buy vintage stuff, but get inspired and talk. That community aspect that you were able to bring from New York and from what your uncle started and reinvent that in a new way is so cool. Was that kind of going through your mind while you were developing? You were like, I want to really have that community aspect. And
Yeah. So I really did grassroots marketing. It was all word of mouth,
Yeah.
It was, I just thought that was kind of cool, underground rock, if I was going to be in a successful band, I wanted to be in a cult following band,
Yeah.
just a lifetime, career at it.
Yeah.
And, so that's kind of how my approach was with Home. And, when we opened, we were on the other side of the street where nobody really ventured. There was Rainbow Country, the one reggae
Oh,
shop.
that's right.
Yeah.
You know, and there was no reason, unless you're going to go get incense, to go on the side of the street where we're at. So we're kind of deemed for failure, more or less. But slowly, just word of mouth was growing, and I like to think that Home contributed the iPod playlist before iPod was even a thing. You know, you'd walk in and hear Cowboys from Hell from Pantera,
Right.
followed by Wouldn't It Be Nice, Beach Boys. You know, so
That was the best part about all the music.
So, it was just the vibe. It was just, you know, I wanted to really kind of like push something that was what I loved, you know, rock and roll music, soul, and it just community, you know.
It's the first place I would go to put a band flyer.
Yeah.
You know, I knew that you'd be cool with putting out the little handbills and stuff.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
You know, just such a magical place. And now you have a new band, right?
Yeah.
That you guys have some music coming out. You want to tell us a little bit about that? Because it's been a while. How many years since you've been playing with Daredevil Jane?
Yeah. So Daredevil Jane broke up in 2008 when I had my youngest. And so, yeah, it's been 12 years. And I never thought I'd be in a band again. And this kind of presented itself. My kids are a little bit older, which allowed me the freedom to travel.
That's
and
awesome.
yeah, it's kind of like, you know, when I was in Daredevil Jane and I had the store, it was hard juggling, as you can imagine, being a father.
Yeah.
You know, not many people were fathers.
Did you have 2 kids at that time?
I had 2 kids at the time. They were
Wow.
young. So
How was that? That was probably crazy.
it was hard. So as
sure.
much as I wanted the band to succeed, it was that kind of like battle in my head, like, please, no, I can't go.
I'm fine,
You
just
know?
playing some local
Right.
shows.
Yeah. But hindsight is 2020, and I'm glad I made the right choice with when Daredevil Jane kind of just dissipated to just raise my kids and be present. So
That's awesome.
now
Honorable.
they're teenagers, you know, they're doing good. They don't need dad so much. We're not really cuddling, you know, so.
Are they playing music at all or following in your footsteps?
Yeah. So my oldest plays, she plays some guitar and a little finger picking and stuff like that. So she's really good at that. For her Sweet 16, I got her a nice Gretsch hollow body
Ooh.
that she never plays. So, but my
Maybe she'll pick it up more now.
yeah, they're all musically inclined. But my youngest, I'm calling it now, is the next Lady Gaga. You know, just in that voice, the projection.
Wow.
You know,
That's
so-
incredible.
Yeah, but it's got to be on her own terms, because if I ever try to push her, like,
Right.
hey, you know, let's go do this or let's do that, she's not interested.
Reverse psychology. You
Yeah,
gotta,
Totally.
Yeah.
gotta not push it.
Bust out the karaoke machine every now and then.
Yeah, for sure. We've done that actually on the streets of La Jolla.
No way.
Yeah. So and I was surprised she sang and people stopped and
How
we just
fun.
walked on our way.
And
That's awesome.
she's
Yeah.
12 now, or?
She's 12 now. Yeah.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
fun.
So
So
Just-
what? Oh no, go ahead.
Or I was going to ask if she's also in the line of fashion too. Does fashion get her excited at all? Or
yeah, what's funny is because all 3 girls love fashion, but my 2 oldest love vintage, you know, and I used to take them to the vintage rag houses where I'd be holding them, picking up stuff. And like,
Yeah.
you know, I actually had my youngest, a huge pile of clothes fell on top of her when I wasn't paying attention. And I just saw this little push. If I didn't see her right away, she would have suffocated, you know, but that's kind of like how they were raised. But
That's awesome.
my youngest, ironically, not until within the last year, hated vintage. She thought it was dirty. And if it had a stain on it, it's got a stain. I don't want to touch it. But now she's like, loves vintage. Like she wants her wardrobe to be vintage. So
That's fun.
yeah. So
Coby, you've been a long time home supporter, right? You guys,
yeah.
you guys. When did you guys meet?
Oh man, we met at home, I think.
Yeah.
And I was just a shopper there. I just loved that spot. Like Encinitas had this vibe back then that was I don't know, it was like kind of mysterious because I lived in Oceanside, and so it was like coming down, you know, like it had this like weird like hippie kind of, you know, I knew like, you know, Ravi Shankar and all of the Swamis and all like the kind of the influence from like India and the eastern areas of the world like was there, you know, and so
Right.
it kind of had that feel, that vibe. I think that's what draws people there still. But but home was like, you know, I mean, just punk rock, you know, like I don't know. It's like you stepped into this world when you went in there. And like, I just remember like your rack of like leather jackets and I didn't know any other place that I could get anything like that. I was just like, you know, pins and like for a kid, you know, for a kid, it's like, where else are you going to get like a DK pin or something, you know?
Right.
Like,
Right. Well, it was
That
like,
was the
it was
spot.
almost inspiring bands to like, it was like harnessing this culture of more. There was a lot more bands, you know, starting as kids, I feel like, then obviously just times in general have changed. More electronic music is prominent, but I feel like, yeah, just like there was a lot of rock and roll back then. And like, we were talking about like you're, you know, like a singer front guy. That's just kind of like a dying breed.
Right.
Not a lot of bands do that. And yeah, it's just that punk rock, just like that mindset.
yeah. And I think, you know, you want to be core, you know, you don't want to be like, you don't want to go shop at Hot Topic or something, you know? Like, and so that, I mean, you literally provided a place for people who wanted to see into a different world than like, you know, the suburbs or something like that. Like, you are our portal, you know? And it was cool because I mean, I'd shop there when I was a younger, like teenager and stuff, but when I was in kind of like my mid-20s is when I really started, you know, going in there and looking at stuff. And I remember you're just like super encouraging to me because I was like, I don't know if I can rock this Mickey Mouse shirt, you know? And you're like, yeah, dude, you could totally rock that Mickey Mouse shirt. And you weren't just looking for a sale. You were like trying to really like help me kind of step off the edge a little bit when
Mentor.
it came to like having a little confidence in trying new things.
Right.
And so but anyways, that was a long story long. But yeah, me and Peter, like we met at home and yeah, I have a few stories, but
Yeah, actually, I was thinking about this on the way down here. I gave you my contact or my tailor. You were looking to get some pants, some jeans done.
Yeah. And it was, well, that was the thing about you too, is like I had all these questions, you know, and you like about fashion, and I didn't know how things were supposed to fit and all that. And you were just like so open about, oh yeah, you just do this, and you do this, like go take it to the tailor. And I was just like, you were not like pretentious whatsoever. Like, and that was really like meaningful to me, you know, like as far as like trying new things, you know, like going to a tailor and getting your pants taken in or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Right. And you were a mentor to just so many of us, so many kids, you know. It's like it's a big impact for sure.
It was more than just a retail shop. You know? Advice, mentorship,
And
good music.
And it's still going on. Like what do you got going on now?
Yeah. Well, first, thank you guys so much. I didn't even think that anybody thought about me anymore.
Still do.
Or I had an impact. And I do, you know, that was the thing. I was trying to be in the store really true to what I did sell, you know, and sometimes I was very picky if people brought in clothes to resell and I denied them. It wasn't because I hated it. It was just that, you know, I just had some kind of like a vision, you know?
Yeah.
So I apologize to anybody I might have denied and hurt their feelings.
It's like, never took my stuff.
So good.
But after I closed the store, and first I closed the store on my own terms. And I could have stayed on, you know, just my pride and, but the rent was getting too high and a lot of personal things were going on in my life and I just needed to walk away.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people kind of said, what happened? What, you know, but that's really what it was. The rent, I got hit up with, this is the terms of the rent now. And I made my choice.
Yeah.
And,
a lot of businesses around. I mean, there's hardly any
it's really
original
changed
businesses around
in
here.
downtown, hasn't it?
Yeah. It's a shame, man.
Yeah. But, for about 3 years, I kind of just, I needed to, you know, find my bearings, regroup, and kind of just, you know, get in touch with home again and what that vision was, because for so many years, I was providing a service to the community, but at the same time I had to kind of like, conform to that community a little bit. And if I tried to venture off too far one way, then it's like, what happened to home? Right.
A lot of pressure on you.
Yeah, as I got older and, taste change and things change, it's kind of like, okay, well, where I'm at now is kind of like, it's on my own terms. And I have the website. We're doing online. We do vintage on the vault1969.com, and I do the classic t-shirts on home1969.com. And again, it's on my own terms, and it's I can release it when I want to, tell the story how I want to. And big plans on developing the brand, working on designs, because I really envision this kind of like a full lifestyle, and have a story to tell with clothing, designs, rock, and so that's kind of where I'm at right now. Still doing the vintage, doing it online, but it's on my own terms again, at home.
That's how it should be.
No pun intended, but yeah, literally.
Yeah, there's no pressure on the record.
Yeah. So
that's cool, man. And so tell us a little bit about your new band. You guys are based out of Vegas, right?
Yeah, based out of Vegas. It's called Crashing Wayward. And we're just an alternative rock band, alternative hard rock.
I heard a lot of Stone Temple Pilots kind of song.
Yeah, Stone Temple Pilots. I love Scott Weiland.
Yes, rest in peace.
Yeah, so it's like kind of like I love the band, and we're just writing amazing. The silver lining to COVID for me has been with this band that we've been able to slow down and write some really killer music that we are loving, and really proud to put out, and actually has a message. It's really inspired kind of like a whole new direction. And I'm able to kind of like really dive deep into my influences. Like from my first love was Duran Duran, I wanted to be John Taylor. I don't know if you guys know who that is. I'm a little bit older than most people here, but that guy was so cool. And he was so good looking, and I wanted to be that guy. So like I'm super inspired by new wave, Freddie Mercury, David Bowie, Scott Weiland, but I've Ian Astbury from the Cult.
Yeah.
So those are kind of like the bands that my brother drilled in me, because we shared a room, and he would just play records all night and be like obscure goth, or just like the beginnings of goth, Joy Division and New Order and the Cult, and that just stuck with me. So in this band, I'm really kind of able to be that front man and just perform, and just kind of like soaring vocals is kind of like my thing right now. So yeah.
You do a great job, man.
Oh,
Your
thanks,
stage presence is amazing too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I can't wait till shows start happening again, and then we get to see you guys play.
Yeah, awesome.
I don't know if there's anything in the you have a new song.
Oh yes, yeah. So we got our first single, "Breathe," which will be out February 12th.
Nice.
Yeah, so it'll be available everywhere.
That's what's up.
Video would drop for that as well too on the 12th. So
Nice.
And then a full EP coming out after that, or
yes, we got 3 songs done right now, and hopefully we're gonna go back the next month or so and just slowly start tracking the next 3, and then put out an
You've been working
album.
with a cool producer on that, right?
Yeah, so Mike Gillies has an incredible resume. For about 25 years, he's working, mixing, and engineering Metallica. Yeah, and he's worked with the Cult and just a slew of other people. So just like in good hands.
Yeah. Good
So-
person to really bring your guys' vision to that next level.
Because we're influenced by, like you said, like Stone Temple Pilots might be like a sound or an influence, but we're doing something that's modern sounding as well, So
Totally. I love it.
yeah.
Looking forward to hearing all those songs, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Maybe we could hear another song from Coby over here.
Yeah.
And then I can't wait to talk about your new stuff, and you've been working with some fun people too. So
Dude, thanks.
yeah, exciting. Thanks again for opening up and sharing all these stories.
Yeah,
and
thank
everything.
you.
course, man.
Yeah.
This song is called Fugitive.
Capo action.
Came up with the early light lying next to you, and all my faith in this life serves the hunger, the ache inside, and I'm wide open in this moment here beside you. Can you see me for who I am? Scared like hell to face the sinner. Can you see me for who I am? I'm a fugitive. And I've been trying, saying I'll amount to something, and I might someday. But what's worth proving if you can't take it with you? If you can't justify, and I'm wide open in this moment here beside you. Can you see me for who I am? And I've been running, scared like hell to face the sinner. Can you see me for who I am? I'm a fugitive. Darkness, but I held back the light. Oh, please don't take your love from me. Yeah, you pushed back the darkness, but I held back the light. Oh, please don't take your love from me. Yeah, you pushed back the darkness, but I held back the light. Oh, please don't take your love from me. And I'm wide open in this moment here beside you. Can you see me for who I am? And I've been running, scared like hell to face the sinner. Can you see me for who I am? I'm a fugitive. I'm a fugitive.
Wow.
Thank you.
That was awesome, man. What a good tune.
Thank you.
I love your vibe, man. You really embody like the vintage sound and just
Cool.
everything. Like it's such a good match having you guys on together,
Oh, man.
being friends and stuff. And
Yes, thank you.
yeah, man. I'm looking forward to some song. Are these some of the songs you've been working on with the producer out in Georgia?
Yeah. So the first two, where that one is gonna be later,
Nice.
But yeah, I've been working on an EP that I'm releasing this spring.
Yeah.
With got full band lineup on the record and the EP, and I've been recording with Mark Neill. He's a producer down in South Georgia at his studio called Soil of the South, and he is well known for producing like the Black Keys. He did their Brothers record. That's just like,
that album's huge.
It's just so good, so
Right.
good. But he's also produced guys like J.D. McPherson and bands like Barcelona and
Oh, cool.
Theo Lawrence. He's a great singer. And a whole bunch of people. But
So how many songs are going to be on that EP?
6 songs.
6?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Do you have another tune you'd like to maybe play us right now that you've been working for?
Yeah, I could do another one for sure.
Sweet. Yeah, let's hear one more, and then we'll talk more about that and just your whole process and everything. And just thanks again for being here, man.
Yeah,
This
absolutely.
is awesome.
This one's called Victory Hill. Old country song on the radio. Spark a cherry out the window, cruising down the road. A wildfire swirling up in the night, drifting off at the wheel and thoughts of you, my dear. I always knew you had an arson's heart, this fascination inside to destroy what you love. You careless girl, you just prance away. I guess there's no allure to the fire until you toy with the flame. And I'm coming back to see them ashes. Yeah, I'm back to feel the pain. Got an old prayer book and bottle in hand, standing in the cinders waiting on the rain. To that familiar scene, and I reach for the revolver underneath the seat. Wish I could pull you in for a kiss goodbye. Will's washed out by a river of rye. This bitter cup I drink, of these rivers I cry. I'm coming back to see them ashes. Yeah, I'm back to feel the pain. Got an old prayer book and bottle in hand, standing in the cinders waiting on the rain. That old house up on Victory Hill, well, it burned down in the heat of your thrill. In the summer rain came and washed it away, 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 came and washed it away. the rain would come again. And I knew the rain would come again.
Yeah, beautiful, man.
Thank you.
Beautiful. I loved there was a lyric about ashes, and I was like, yeah, we're kind of getting showered in ashes sometimes. Sorry, guys.
And the rain is about to come. So
And it is gonna rain soon, so we're
beautiful song.
This is like the perfect calm before the storm. We're gonna like be putting all our energy into this storm.
Yeah.
So I mean, one thing that I really admire about both you guys, and we were talking about that you admire about Adrian, is like just perseverance and sticking with your thing. You know, you have a vision and you have something that you stand for and are about. You know, your music, your brand, and you keep it going. Like so you said you've been working on this album for like 4 years, right?
Yeah. It's been 4 years.
It's awesome, man.
It's
It's
been-
like so cool that you're releasing it this spring.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
so much. Yeah, it's been such a long process, long time coming, and you know everything's always like twice as long and twice as much as you originally planned. But I think I can't half-ass things. You know, like I put so much of myself into it, and so I want it to be good. You
I
know?
love it, man.
I want it to be good.
And you're
so.
flying out to Georgia every time. You gone out there 3 times now.
Yeah, three different trips. I spent a week each time, like tracking and getting the guys in.
So do you bring a band from here or?
A couple of guys from here, came out when we did the backing tracks, and then after that we used local guys from the Georgia area. There's one guy who drove about 4 or 5 hours just to come down to put steel tracks on the record. So
that's so cool, man.
Wow.
yeah, but we there's so much talent in the South. It's
Oh yeah,
it's
Swampers.
insane. Dude, it's incredible. And they come in, they don't say a thing, they just run their part, and they take a pass, and it's freaking perfect.
One
and
take,
then and then I cut the check, and they're on their way.
That's awesome.
So
man.
it's pretty awesome. Yeah,
You gotta love that.
yeah. But yeah, so it's been a little mix of musicians from here and musicians from the South. It's not like, oh, we have to have everything like analog because it's cool to have it analog. It's like, well, no, like he uses what is going to work best for the job,
Yeah.
and by all means he could run a tape machine. He has like an awesome tape machine, but for what we needed, he brought out what he has. And so yeah, I just
That's cool.
yeah, he is an incredible like musician, guitar player.
Is he on the record at all, or just...
Yeah, he's playing
Nice.
some guitar parts and like mellotron and
Nice.
doing the percussion, and he does this thing with a tape machine on the vocals, and that I just it's his sound that he does with it, and I mean all of it, like the room, the assortment of gear that he's collected over the years.
Yeah,
it's his thing.
Seems like when like a musician likes a record or something, then they're like, oh, I really like that sound. Who produced that? Like, oh, can I work with that guy? Shit, I'll hit him up.
Yeah.
Is that kind of how you reached out? Did you reach out to him?
I got introduced to Mark's recordings through a friend of mine here, Matt Walker, and Matt's in the process of building a studio here as well.
Nice.
But yeah, so Matt had like moved out to Georgia to kind of be around Mark for a while and help Mark and just kind of glean what he could off of him and just try something different from San Diego for a while. So I actually moved Matt out there, and that's when I met Mark. And
nice.
I got to hang out with him in his studio, and we listened to a lot of records, and then I don't know, it just one thing led to another, and we were talking about making a record. And so I kind of
Natural.
it was funny because I sat down with Mark and I was like, hey, can I just play you a few songs? Can you tell me if I'm like wasting my time, like with music? And then he was like, no, you're not wasting your time. And so that was like a good confirmation for me to keep going.
Push.
Yeah. And so when he was like into making a record with me, I was like, yeah, yes and amen. Like, let's do it, And
Hell yeah.
so I was interested to see what would happen. I think my favorite record that Mark has made is a guy named Murray Hammond. He's the bass player of a band called the Old 97s.
Okay.
I don't know if have you heard of Old 97s? Yeah. So, man, Murray is incredible. But the record that they made that's a special record. That it's got.
I'll need to check it out.
Oh, it's so eerie and like spooky and like Southern Gothic, like
epic.
And so yeah, I was like, if we can get a little bit of that in there, I'd be like, I'd be stoked. So.
Dude, well, I'm sure you're gonna be very pleased with the outcome, and we all can't wait to hear it.
Yeah,
sure,
thanks so much.
Yeah, we'll have to have a pop-up, a home pop-up, and you play a little release.
I'll be down for that.
I'm keen. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there's some outdoor spaces. Maybe we can get it in the works soon.
Yeah,
There's a few spots.
Yeah, we'll have
We've been
to.
scouting.
Might be something lining up.
Cool.
But wow, you want to maybe play us another one of the tunes from that?
Sure. Yeah.
That'd be super cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear with the full band. I'm like hearing it in my head, like, like just kind of trying to, just the musician brain of me just doing that. But it's gonna be so cool to see it come to life.
Dude, thanks.
Songs. Yeah.
Yeah. So this song is the title track. Anytime soon. There's a cold bed, a graveyard of boats in the harbor with past dreams of tours never sailed. They sink to the bottom as are slowly forgotten once great ships, but now just a tale. But I laughed 'cause I knew this is only the winter. When the sun comes out, all will be new. But then I cried 'cause I knew the days would only get colder, and the lonesomeness won't break anytime soon. Dark empty space with a broke down old sawmill where the timber was made into homes. And the snow has claimed back the North Country rail line. This great train has run off its track. I laughed 'cause I knew this is only the winter. When the sun comes out, all will be new. Then I cried 'cause I knew the days would only get colder, and the lonesomeness won't break anytime soon. And the lonesomeness won't break anytime soon. And the lonesomeness won't break anytime soon.
Last chord. That was beautiful, man. So that's the title track.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, man.
Thank you.
Like I said, I'm really like, I'm hearing so many things in my head. I'm like, shit.
Cool.
Can't wait to hear it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Wow.
you've got a really good sound. It really hits home.
Wow.
Thank you. Pun intended.
Sweet. Well, I mean, thank you guys so much. Is there any questions you guys have for each other or anything else you want to share with people watching at home? Or
Well, I'm just happy to finally see Coby's face for the first time in what, a year now.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
literally. I run into him quite a bit, but we're always wearing masks. So
Yeah.
right?
yeah. So it's good to see his face.
Good to see.
Glad we could provide the quick mask off
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah, totally.
I know you got a beautiful face, and you'll be able to see that.
Yeah, I'm super curious, Peter, like where you draw inspiration. I mean, you talking about new wave and
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I'm curious to know, what you're into when it comes to like spirituality and then how that plays into fashion and music, and then like I guess I had a question earlier, but I kind of forgot it. But
Yeah.
just like what, like your creative process and especially like, I don't know, maybe I asked that question already, but
Yeah.
um,
Good question.
Gosh, man, it's a great question. And sometimes I have a hard time answering it because my creative process is, I have to allow it to come to me, and when, if you get a writer's block or something, I mean, that's like death to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like super depressed, but it just kind of has to come to me. And when I'm trying to seek for inspiration from something, a lot of it comes from music,
Mm.
and it'll just be kind of like going through old albums, and looking at, inside covers and what they wore, what the sound was, because a lot of music it paints colors, and it's really like painting to me,
Oh, totally.
So, as far as like spirituality, I need to go outside. I'm like total, Aries, Mars, sun person, so I just need to sit in the sun and recharge.
yeah.
And to me, just hearing nature, that's like God for me. That's like God talking. And I just kind of like lead with my gut. Again, that's God talking to me through my gut. That's where I lead. So if it feels right, then that's where I go. Hopefully I answered your question.
Yeah, no.
Wow.
Yeah,
Those
it's
are the
it-
best answers.
It's always interesting to me how like creative people like process through their reality, and when you're talking about going outside and experiencing God in nature and bringing that back and having it influence like what you're doing, it's I'm just always curious, how people come to where they're at creatively and whatnot. But the other question was like, if you were stranded on a desert island, like what record would you have with you?
Well, yours, man.
Oh,
of
God.
course.
Soon to be.
Hopefully it's not until after spring that I'm on the desert island.
You'll have it on vinyl.
I love it.
Gosh, man, another great question. U2 Joshua Tree never gets old. I love Bono. And like
Yeah.
a lot of people either like love Bono or they hate Bono. And I just don't
Right.
understand why people hate Bono, man.
Because they saw the South Park.
Yeah,
video.
totally. That and the Cult Love album.
Okay.
Almost everything from Michael Jackson was what
Okay.
really got me into music.
Really?
Yeah. And then, gosh, man. So I'd probably say, let's say Off the Wall, Michael Jackson, Joshua
Nice.
Tree,
Nice.
The Cult Love, maybe Cloud 9 something Temptations, psychedelic soul.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Cool.
Yeah. And then I had to have jazz, so maybe Bitches Brew, Miles Davis, so I can just get abstract and weird,
Yeah. Yeah.
I love jazz too, so
That's cool.
yeah.
You got to have a little bit of everything in there.
Yeah, everything.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a quick question. Just like historically, home has been pretty involved in social movements in the past with John Lennon and the Solidarity logo. And on this door here that Tyler Kyer's brother had from the shop.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Like, do you want home to be part of the social movement that's currently going on in the world? And have you done things this year to kind of trickle into that? Or
Yeah, absolutely. When I first launched, we were doing, before COVID hit and a lot of this social, injustice that's thankfully out in the limelight and everybody can see it was going on. I was, proceeds from sales were going towards kind of, to charities that I kind of felt fit. I just kind of would just go with my gut, what felt right. It wasn't like necessarily, to NAACP or, but it would be possibly if I'd find like GoFundMe's and stuff like that.
That's
I
awesome.
like doing stuff anonymously,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny, there's a show, an episode from the show Friends, and Joey and Lisa Kudrow's character Phoebe got in some kind of argument about giving is vanity, and that so that always kind of like stuck to me. Like if I do it anonymously, then maybe I'm not like doing it like, hey, I did a good job, look at me,
Oh, that's
Right.
good.
yeah. So I kind of like just giving anonymously. So, but as far as home, yeah, definitely. It needs to be inclusive of everybody always. That's what home is. Everybody has a home, no matter who you are, what you stand for. As long as you don't hate, you always have a place at home. And that's who I want to sell to and who I want to, create and design for. So
That's beautiful.
It's kind of like
Yeah.
like the Beatles always said that it's all about love. Like every song's about love.
Yeah.
Life's just about love and acceptance, man. For
damn it, I forgot Queen and Beatles album too, dude. on that.
There's too many.
Yeah, it's way too
I
many.
know,
it's
it's
kinda-
hard to
You did a good job. You did a good job.
You get one
Yeah.
milk crate. Of,
Yeah, totally.
of
Yeah,
albums.
if you just you could have one shelf. But yeah, well, so awesome, guys. This has been such a special
Thanks,
night,
yeah.
and just
Yeah.
I've learned a lot, and I hope that everybody else watching at home got to really just enjoy this experience as much as I did. I know. I'm sure
Oh,
Zach
it's
did.
beautiful.
Oh, the
Oh.
people want to hear the story behind the door. So when home was closing down, Adrian gave it to my little brother Tyler, and he's
Yeah.
had it just in his room ever since, right
Yeah.
up the street. So
Yeah, I remember he
um,
came in and asked, and I said, when I close, I'll give it to you. And he came and I called him and picked him up. He picked it up, right? Yeah.
I remember.
yeah.
I know he was.
Gosh, man, it was a while ago. I'm probably gonna mess up her name. Andrea Welton, something like that. She was a San Diego artist. She did some awesome murals. And I have one door left right now, and it's one of my uncle, and right next to the original home sign. But yeah, it was crazy because when she was painting the mural of my uncle on one of the doors, it was like super like spiritual experience for me. Like it was like I was looking at my uncle,
Whoa,
so
powerful.
yeah, so it's crazy to see this door. I forgot it existed until
Right? Well,
I showed up, and I'm like, whoa. Dressing
Well, I
door.
was like, what better night to bring it by? Literally, he lives one street up,
Yeah.
so it's like perfect.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on too. It's super humbling to hear,
course.
you guys actually remember me and home, and that I actually made some kind of impact,
For sure,
so,
man. I know you did too. A
Yeah.
lot. Everyone I know, a lot, like all my friends, so,
Yeah.
and just all the generations of that, all the kids growing up then,
Awesome.
for sure.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, San Diego's really lucky to have both you guys, and
Oh, thank you.
we're
Thank
stoked
you.
to have had you on the show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You want to take us out with one more tune, maybe? If you got it, you don't have to.
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay, cool. we'll end on that. It's always good to end on some music, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Feels right.
Yeah.
This
A
one
little less awkward.
This one is a single I released like in 2016, and it's called The Ghost.
I feel like this is real, but it may not be. But if it is, then we're in a dream. And I finally have you, but I don't think it is. Don't think it can be. And I'm wandering through a dream inside a dream inside a dream, and I can't find my way back to certainty. And you're the ghost who drew me outside my mind. When I awake, still I'll be dreaming. I'm paralyzed to reclaim the future. You're my paradox, my great undoing. When consciousness has slipped into a gray space, could be 4 days, could be 4 decades, that I'm wandering through a dream inside a dream inside a dream, and I can't find my way back to certainty. And you're the ghost who drew me outside my mind. When I awake, still I'll be dreaming. And I'm in limbo, and I'm in hell, and I'm in limbo, I'm in paradise.
Wow. Awesome, man. Coby Lee Brooks.
Thanks, guys.
Wow. Adrian Peter Ross, thank you guys so
Yeah,
much
thank you.
for being here. And this has been episode 11 of Barn Time. Signing out. Until next time.
See you.
Yeah.